Good morning and welcome back. Never let your mind make decisions for you. It's extremely valuable if you can learn, not your mind, but this skill I'm about to tell you is extremely valuable if you can learn to act on the things that your heart desires, regardless what your mind tells you, tries to convince you either way about it. The perfect example, this morning, and you've probably noticed now, I have a habit of making a video at least one per day. I've tried doing this before. I've had a few other channels, different types of content. And I've stopped. And the reason I stopped is because my mind got in the way. My mind would say things like, well, I don't know what to do. I feel like I've done everything. I'm running out of ideas. I'm too tired. Oh, not right now. It would come up with all of these reasons to make me feel either negative about making videos or to discourage me, making me feel as though I was running out of ideas, for example. And when you affirm something like that, when you affirm to yourself, I'm running out of ideas, and this becomes a recurring thought that you put energy into in the form of believing that that is true, then it becomes a reality for you. And more, you feel less and less as though you have the ability to do the things that your heart really wants to do. And I'm speaking about artistic endeavors in your world. For example, maybe you want to exercise more often. Maybe you want to learn how to draw. Maybe you'd like to take up a specific art, a craft, play a musical instrument. Anything along those lines in your life. And it doesn't necessarily have to be, art. It could be working hard for money, anything that your heart. So I guess it goes beyond any kind of artistic endeavor, really. Just anything that you really want to accomplish in your life, your mind is always going to come in and try to lead you. And then the thing that we fail to see is that we are there watching the thoughts, and then a thought will come in, and we're watching the words and the thoughts, and we take the thoughts so real to be our thoughts. That is me thinking, we say. That's my thoughts. But we take the thoughts so seriously that we get wrapped up in it. We get wrapped up in a specific thought, like, for example, I'm running out of ideas. And then this thought, we get wrapped up in it and we fall and fall and fall until the whole thing that we wanted to do falls completely. We learn to trip over ourselves. I've developed a habit of simply not listening to the mind. And the more I develop this habit, the more areas in my life this ability becomes a reality for me. And the more free I become from the dominating thoughts and beliefs of my mind. And then you feel empowered. You feel very capable. You feel a sense of courage. You feel a sense of adventure, wonder. You feel on this upward slope, and not as though you're struggling to walk uphill, but upward in the sense of accomplishments in your life and positivity and an increasing sense of joy, enjoyment as well in life. It climbs and it seems to effortlessly, as though you're going down a hill. The only freedom in your life is the freedom from your own mind. The only freedom in life is the freedom from your mind. Your mind is the largest, most difficult prison to get out of. But the funny thing is with the mind and its prison is that the key is in your hand. And the only one that doesn't want to turn the door or the lock and open the door and walk out is you. You see, the prison is fake. The key doesn't exist. There is no door. The whole structure is created by you. It's as though you take a cardboard box and put it over the top of you and sit in it. And then blame it on other people and circumstances. Realizing you just... And of course, that's easier said than done. In practice. So don't listen to your mind. When it comes to things that you want to do in life, we all have these things that are in us that are a deeper, things that really want to happen, things that you really want to do and maybe you have for a very long time. And we avoid acting on them because of the reasons and justifications that the mind comes up with. So that's really what this video is about. Look at them. Look at your justifications. Ask yourself, where does this come from? Is this real? Is this true? Am I really bad at this? Or whatever your mind is telling you. Am I actually running out of ideas? In life, we always go through this cycle when it comes to creativity of high times of creative output and low times of creative output. And it's a cycle. So you just, as like when you're exercising, you're doing the workout at one point of your creative outputs, and then at a certain point you need to take a break, catch your breath, let the muscles relax a bit, and then you jump back into your set. You'll see this cycle is evident everywhere in life. So to learn to flow with the natural rhythm and cycles of life will help you to keep your creative energy at its high and help you not to listen to the mind, because you're going to notice that at a different part of the cycle, your mind is going to talk to you differently. It's going to speak in a different tone. It's going to give you different advice. Your mind is nothing more than a suggested advisor, but it's as though the advisor is blind. The advisor doesn't give you advice that's actually practical when it comes to things that you want to accomplish in life. Not always, unless you can train your mind to do so. But for most of us, our mind is more generated, will more speak to you, about what you're feeling and where you are on that cycle of high energy or low energy. You may have noticed this in yourself. When you have a lot of energy and you feel really good, you'll go out and you'll buy those paintbrushes and an easel, and you'll get a beautiful canvas and all of these things, and you'll start trying to paint. And then a couple of weeks will pass when you hit that low energy, that natural cycle, and then you feel that you're not doing good enough, and your mind just gives you all this negative. So the mind will go back and forth between positive self-talk and negative self-talk, positive and negative, and this is natural. And it's important, extremely, extremely, extremely important if you want to succeed in anything in your life, to learn to not listen to your mind when it's on that low cycle, or to learn to train it to speak to you in a different manner. There's two approaches. One, you could just ignore it, flat out knowing you're wrong. you're blind. You actually don't know what you're talking about, mind. I'm going to do it anyways, or I'm just going to rest right now. I don't have less ideas. I'm not losing motivation. I'm just resting right now, and that's natural. Or you can simply, well, yeah, you can stop listening to it, or you can tell yourself those types of thoughts and retrain that pattern to recognize that you're not losing interest, it's nothing negative, that it's natural and you're just resting. That this is necessary to fill up that tank of energy naturally. And I see this so often. People will start something new and then they'll give up when they hit that low cycle. And it's as though they hit the low cycle so often in life that they stop trying anything new at a certain point. They believe the negative talk at that low cycle to be themselves, and they get so discouraged by how often they get there that they just give up completely in life about trying anything, any type of creative idea. They stop trying in the world. They just give up. And this is what's truly dangerous about listening to the mind. Then it becomes a doorway to depression and all types of negative mind diseases. I say diseases because truly, when I say the word disease, I break it apart into two words: dis-ease, when you're not at ease, when you're in dis-ease, and when you're not at ease is when all types of illnesses, diseases appear in the body and in the mind. When you're not at ease, when you can't rest, when you can't see the cycle and value the low energy as a rest day. When you can't see that that is okay, that that's fine. We believe as though we need constant progress on that upcycle, that this is yes, this is no, good and bad. Instead of seeing it as a complete cycle, a whole, a natural rhythm. Sometimes a river turns left, sometimes a river turns right. It seems counterintuitive because the rivers are all leading to the ocean. You'd think to yourself, well, the most direct path is a straight line, but you don't see a river getting discouraged when it turns left and right. It doesn't even think about which direction it's going. It simply flows to its destination. Sometimes it moves faster, sometimes it moves slower, sometimes it's very wide, sometimes it's extremely narrow. But the river does not think or even care at all. And it still reaches its goal, which is the ocean. And eventually it evaporates and then returns back to its original sources on top of mountaintops or wherever, and then they flow down to the river or through the river to the ocean again. A lot can be learned about life by observing simple things like a river, the wind, the patterns of how animals grow, plants grow. You can gain a lot of wisdom about certain things in your own life. Something to meditate on. So I leave you with that. Wherever you are around the world, whatever time it is that you're watching this video, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. Peace.